Good morning, beautiful people. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. I'm okay, or I will be okay. Welcome back to my YouTube channel to all of my existing subscribers, and welcome to those of you tuning in for the very first time. And if you finding me for the first time and you don't know who I am, let me introduce myself. My name is Mervel. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo, but I do live in America permanently. I travel back and forth to Congo, which is my home country, for a variety of reasons, primarily for business purposes. I apologize, I received a phone call out of my cell phone. Primarily for business purposes, most specifically farm and agriculture related type of business. If that sounds like something you are interested in and you would like to learn more, stick around to the end and do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up and comment in the comment section down below. And also go find my playlist on farming in Congo Kinshasa. I believe I have enough video on there that will give you an overview of what to expect should you decide to do business or to get into agriculture or farming in the Democratic Republic of Congo, right? So guys, I'm going to excuse myself because I feel like my glass lenses got fingerprints on them. Usually when that's on my way, it really bugs me and I can't stand it. So I'm gonna have to clean my lenses for a little bit, just so bear with me for a second. But while I do this, do me a favor in the comment section below. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I know it's been a while since we last talked about farming, right? So you guys, a lot of you tune in and are curious to know how my farm is doing, how I'm doing with everything. Well, I'm gonna tell you that just in a second, but before we do that, I'm going to allow a few more minutes for some people to join the chat, and then we can talk about it. But while we wait, why don't you do me a favor, hit the like button, and in the comment section below, let me know where you're tuning in from, and I'll really appreciate it. Check this out. YouTube is my hobby, right? I love creating YouTube videos, although I don't always have time to post as many times as I should due to my work schedule and a whole lot of other responsibilities that I have. But guys, me as a small YouTuber, I rely on your support to get more exposure. And one way you can do that, it is to just hit the like button. That's it. Don't give me no money. I'm not asking for donation. All I'm asking you to do to support me is to hit the like button. What that does, it costs you $0, but it pushes me through the YouTube algorithm. And then YouTube sends it to many people out there who may be interested in this topic. All right. Hello for all of you tuning in, and just give me a thumbs up and I will really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's jump straight to today's video. You guys saw the title and you are curious as to what happened or what is happening with my farmland, because you have watched me long enough to care about what could be happening to my farmland, right? And you are curious what's going on. So guys, If you've been watching me for a while, you know I own a farmland back in Congo. I started pig farming. It's doing is doing fine, right? And I want to keep that going. So thank you so much for always being there, supporting me, encouraging me throughout the whole journey. It was not always easy, but I put my faith into it. I put passion into it, patience and all that stuff, and it has worked. So my last videos talking about my YouTube channel, I may have said that I was selling my land or whatever, and I was very serious about that. I wasn't selling my farmland to completely get out of pig farming. However, I was selling to move to a new location. Whereas I received multiple people who were interested in buying the land, but then there were always an issue with transaction. Some people were either offering not enough money, or some people were either uh, agreeing to make, split payments, which I was not okay with. If you guys know anything about Africa, or Congo in particular, when you are selling something to someone, just things are different. It's not like we have credit system here in America where you could purchase something on credit and you split payments until it's paid for, right? But over there, when you're selling something to someone, you would rather just get paid up front, because a lot of Africans, when they make that first payments to collect the rest, it turns into a whole issue, which I didn't want to go through and burn my bridges, or ruin my relationships with certain people. So I just chose not to do that. Do me a favor, hit the like button. So, and that's one of the reasons why I still was hold on to my land, because I know what its value. So if you guys are watching it, or from Congo, or you guys are Congolese, the Congolese governments, I don't know if you know or you heard, they are planning on, and they've talked about this for a long time now on the news. They're planning on expanding the city of Kinshasa, which is the capital city of the Democratic Republic of Congo, right? So Kinshasa is the capital. It is not even half habited. So a vast portion of Kinshasa's land is inhabited, right? So the government is like, yeah, this is the waste of resources. We will have to build a whole new city to expand, so we can decentralize some things and some activities, which actually, by the way, is a great idea that most Congolese support. So, but unfortunately, among the villages and certain rural areas that were chosen, where the implementation of this new city is going to be built, my farm location is one of them. So pretty much what is happening now at this point is that the Congolese government have put out an official statement, saying that all of these cities are going to be, the city is going to be expanded towards that area, and many infrastructures are going to be built, school, roads, and a lot of, institutions, including some government buildings, right? And like business districts and all that stuff, which is a great plan that most Congolese support, by the way. But how is that going to affect someone like me who owns over 15 acres worth of farmland in that specific area? So before I get into the official government statements, let me tell you about what individuals that I have been dealing with are telling me, including the very same person who has actually helped me acquire this farmland, right? I get a text message from him stating that actually he actually sent me a bunch of different videos talking about it, right? Like official, I don't know, some things from the news or whatever. So I was listening to it, I saw everything, and then he sent me a voicemail. Then I kind of conducted my own investigation, and that's actually true. And again, I already knew about the government projects like a long time ago. I believe this city, Kinshasa city, is going to be the new Kinshasa city is going to be built by Egyptians. So I think there are some Egyptian contractors who are going to be building this new city of Kinshasa or whatever the case may be, right? So then the guy tells me that now people are encouraged to register their land to the new chief of village, and then they'll be provided with some paperwork, and with that paperwork the government will compensate $5,000 per acre to all the owners out there, so that the government can take back the ownership of the land, so they can build this project or whatever. So, and I was just like, I asked him questions, as far as the documents that he was talking to me about go. So he said, the documents were, so he actually sent me pictures of those different documents, and I compare those to the documents that I possess after I purchased my land. I'm like, I have all these documents. Why do I need to pay? So, in Congo, right? Like when there is an opportunity, including government institutions, unfortunately, everybody is trying to get a cut out of something, right? So I'm like, just because when I purchased the land, it was a different chief of village, and I have all my documents, all the paperwork are legalized. Now I have to pay this a second fee to a whole new chief just so I can have the paperwork. So when this is the time to get the money, I can get my cut. I said, I don't think I need to do that, right? And I said, you know what? I'm not going to question what he's saying, but I can only reach out to my people on the ground and have them investigate further to see, the veracity of what he was telling me, right? So I contacted a few friends who work in those particular, specific field in, the Congolese government, and that although they confirmed everything he was telling me, however, they also stated that he was not reached that level yet. So they said they don't know how the government will proceed as far as, recompensing landowners, because to some extent they will evaluate the value of your land, right? And the government will pay you what your land worth, so that they can take back the ownership. So when they build the new city or whatever, it won't be no landlord kind of, like, it won't be like no land disputes. That's what I was trying to say, right? So, but according to what the guy was trying to tell me, is pretty much pay this fee, and then the new chief will give you this documents, and with that documents, when the government start distributing the money, you take the documents, and then they will give you the money. And I'm like, hold up, that still doesn't sound right. So who am I making the payments to? Am I paying the money to the chief of the village, or am I paying the money to the borough, who actually is in charge of all of these documents? Then I didn't really get a clear answer, but other than him telling me how urgent that was, and then in 2 weeks from the time I was told, which was about just exactly 2 weeks ago, that they needed the money, and they said it was something like $300 US. I said, with this economy and with all the stuff that I got going on, I don't think I have $300 just laying around. I mean, I do, but it will have to be used for something way more significant than with bogus story that already from the get-go appeared to be a scam, right? And I'm going to stop right there. Let's talk about scamming a little bit. You guys know when I publish my videos, I talk about doing business in Africa occasionally, and I do encourage you guys to do business in Africa, especially for the African diaspora who are very, very poised to, step up and create opportunities for some who do not have access to them, in the African continent and things of that nature. I always show support and I tell you guys to go ahead and do that. Guys, please, y'all be watching for a little bit. Just do your boy a favor. Hit the like button. It doesn't hurt. And yes, I'm not going to post women twerk on my YouTube channel. This is not the values that I share on my YouTube channel. I talk about more important things. I talk about issues that I believe help the African community, people from my community, the Congolese people, things that are more important, having mature conversation. Those nonsense is you're not going to find it on this channel, because it seems to me people are more interested in those type of nonsense rather than just the real issue. This is the real issues that we're talking about, right? So your support goes a long way. Thank you very much. That's why we need to support each other within the community. In the African community, that's all we need. That's all we need. We need each other. We are the only group who do not have support for one another. And this is just getting out of control. But thank you for your support, and thank you for showing up here. And please hit the like button. So let's get back to the video. I said I was not going to fall for that scam, right? And that's why I keep telling you guys, whenever you are planning on doing business in Africa, don't just think having money or even hundreds of thousands of dollars available in your bank account is enough to succeed in doing business in Africa. I always encourage people to take trips down there, boots on the ground, travel as frequently as possible, kind of study the environment, learn the business model, like learn the markets that you're trying to get into, and see the opportunities that's available, and see the potential that it may have. You may not even be impressed. You may not be so satisfied. Don't just think because some people are here on YouTube talking about how successful their business are in a continent doesn't automatically mean that you will also be successful. Because there are things you need to understand. There are some, ways you need to kind of, learn the way people think out there. And the way you do that is by going down there, boots on the ground, investigate, to spend some time, kind of learn the people and understand the thought process of a lot of people out there, and understand the space, the pace, all of that. It's very necessary. It's very important. And when you do your due diligence, then you can decide whether you want to go into business in Africa or not. You see what I'm saying? So back to my subject, because I thought this could be a scam, so I kind of backed off on that. I was relying on the true sources of information that I have received after speaking to my friends who were there, and they confirmed that yes, the government eventually will move forward with that, but as of now, nothing. They're not even to that point where they start recompensing landowners yet. And if it comes down to it, as long as you have all your documents, you don't need to pay additional fees to some individual to give you some unknown piece of paperwork that will justify, or like that would show proof that you're a landowner. So I was like, all right, cool. So the guy kind of reached out to me last time. I responded, but then I just didn't really make any comments on what we discussed, because I knew it was a bull crap, right? So what I ended up doing, I fell back. But there is some truth to the government recompensing the landowners, but how they're going to proceed about it, I don't know. But it would be great if the government allowed the landowners to keep their land And after investing, or the project is done, which means the area will worth more, or owning properties in that area will be more expensive. Then the government could just be like, hey, you know, you already here, you get to stay here. That will be actually so much better. But the decision is not up to me, but we can always hope for the best, right? But this is the situation. Oh yeah, the thumbnail. I mean, the title is not necessarily that my land is getting confiscated by the Congolese government. But what are the chances of that happening, especially knowing the history of the Congolese governments when it comes down to land issues, right? So these practices have not being like the headlines of the news in the past a few decades, because how the efforts done conducted by the Congolese government to stop this land disputes among landowners, you know what I'm saying? And I trust that the Congolese government will do the right thing. They will recompense the landowner, for their land, in order for the Congolese government to build the new city of Kinshasa, or expand the city rather. So, and the guy was also telling me, even the former president of Congo, Joseph Kabila, his land Kingakati, when he bought it, I thought like he recompensed the landowners in that area, but according to like some sources, like people say like he just took the land and never recompensed the people. Some people say like he started having some issues and then he ended up paying like the chief of village. It was just so many stories. I can't really give you the real version, but I'm just telling you the speculations. I'm just telling you things that I've heard so far, right, from the news. So I hope that the Congolese government would do the right thing, and if it comes down to it, I don't have an issue with it, because I've always wanted to move out of that specific area anyway, so I can start my farm, rebuild my farm elsewhere. But we'll see how things go. But if there's any more updates, you guys better believe I'll come back here to keep you guys updated and let you know what is going on. In case you guys are planning on purchasing land in no specific area, I would not recommend doing it now because of what's going on. Because if you do, I mean, I'm not saying you will lose, but I would just hold off on that. Maybe look for somewhere else. Definitely not like in my Menkau area or Maluku, especially where I own my farm, right? So I've shared enough information on my YouTube channel for all my farm related content. You guys feel free to check out the playlist that I have, farming in Congo Kinshasa, right? Then you will see valuable information on there, and you get to learn the area that I'm talking about, and I'm focusing on this particular live stream. So if you are just out there looking to buy land and then that's one of your targeted area, I would not recommend making any transaction as of yet. If you don't have any new location in mind and you think that's just the only option you have, I will just wait until the government say the last word before you make your decision, because those lands are already potentially going to be more than likely or taken by the government, and the owners are going to be recompensed, one way or another, for the projects that the government has of expanding the city, just outside of what we know the city of Kinshasa looks like. All right. So thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for watching, and whomever has hit the like button. Your support means a lot, and it goes straight to the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, and please do me a favor, whether you're watching this live or on a replay, in the comment section below, let me know where you're tuning in from and getting some value out of this live stream. Don't be a stranger. Feel free to in the comment section below so we can have a conversation about that. Until the next video or live stream, I'll see you guys soon. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Happy Thursday.